Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Rockingham, and welcome to the feed. We're back live. We've been doing pre-taped shows. We're live today. It's September 28th. Marty's back from Niagara Falls, and I'm back from Louisiana, and we're here with Amy Howlett. We're going to be talking about a project in Bellows Falls, and then later we're going to talk with Charlie Jarvis about the Flannel Festival. But first, we'll go with Marty and local events.
Local events. So on a somber note, I just want to acknowledge to the community has lost a definite icon. Ray Masuko passed yesterday. So advice from his wife is just hug your loved ones a little bit more.
Yep.
So local events, we have consensus from the group here, but we're not 100% sure that the Bells Falls Opera House movie this week is The Woman King.
Yes.
It wasn't listed yet, but Amy gave us an insider scoop having seen a poster last night after the tri-board meeting, so don't quote us on that one. But I do know that the classic movie is All the President's Men, and it's in honor of somebody's birthday. I don't know who, WAHIV's birthday.
Oh.
I don't know who that is. So at 7 o'clock tonight is All the President's Men. And I'm keeping local events short because Amy has some important things to talk about
Yeah.
for Saxtons River.
Great, thank you. It's so nice to be here. I'm always happy to talk to the audience. So Saxtons River could really use your help. We are kicking off a project tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. at Main Street Arts, to look at the west end of the village. So if you're driving down the street, there's Main Street Arts, which is a beautiful, iconic white New England building. And then there's this low red building, and then there's the post office, and then there's the church. And if you come around, there's that great village park. It's all beautiful, except for that low building. So it used to be Tenny's Hardware. Years ago, it was a garage repair place. And right now, it's empty.
Been a restaurant
It's been a
before.
restaurant,
Yeah.
Golden Egg,
Yeah,
you remember,
Golden
in
Egg.
the
I remember
dish?
Dish on Main,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. So we're trying to figure out what could be there. Would somebody want to take on rehabbing the building? Boy, I think that would be a job and a half, but maybe they
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
Main Street Arts owns it right now. They are eager to sell it. And they're in charge of selling it, but the Planning Commission approached the village trustees and said, what about a grant to look at this?
That's
So
a great idea.
we have the best consultants in the world. We have the UMass at Amherst Landscape Design and Regional Planning Department.
Wow.
So it's two professors
nice.
and they're graduate students, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do for us.
That is really well. Just
Isn't
how did you manage? How did
Gary
you get,
Fox.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's just because across the street, and for people who don't know, is the park that
Yeah,
you
which
just
is
redone.
beautiful. Yeah.
You know, and again, it was well designed and designed by professionals.
Yep.
And the community came together and did all this work.
Yep.
So this seems like the perfect complement to
Yep.
that sort of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess anything goes with this. It could
Yeah,
be.
so this is classic consultant work. You know, what are your ideas? Here, react to these photographs. Does this look like Saxtons River to you? What about this? And I've seen some of these photographs and I said, wait a minute. I think that looks like Massachusetts. Don't bring that to Saxtons River. You know, we don't want this big mall thing here. But it'll be up to the group to react. And this is the first meeting tomorrow night. There's going to be tabling outside the post office and the village market. So that's on Saturday between 9 and noon. So if you want to just drop by and react to some photographs and put your
Yeah.
feedback. And then a final meeting November 2nd back at Main Street Arts to come up with 3 ideas to bring
November
us
2nd
forward.
or October 27th?
It's November 2nd. So
Oh,
I've
okay.
sent you an earlier
Oh,
version.
oh,
It's
okay.
November
Unfortunately,
2nd.
okay, that's
oh my
unfortunately the one
gosh,
that we
I'm
have
so
up. That's okay.
sorry.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
So that meeting, November 2nd, will be 3 uses, and I'm not even sure we want a winner. I think we want to go out of this knowing that, you know,
These
the
are
community
good
talked
options.
and
Yeah.
people
These are-
thought,
yeah.
and these are really good options for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Well,
So,
that's great.
Yeah, Yeah.
And then you have time to explore each option and see
Yes.
which is the most viable.
So
So you're
I'm-
kind of narrowing it down.
That's right.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
saying to people, this is the first grant, but, depending on who buys it and what the ideas are,
Right, yeah.
then there's probably more grants coming.
Sure.
And it's a process. It's going to
Yeah,
be a
yeah,
process.
yeah.
But it's
You
nice.
know about
yeah,
that, don't
I know
you?
about
You've been in
processes.
local politics.
But it's nice that I always think it's nice when there's community involvement, because then you as is the governing
Mm-hmm.
board don't have to take all the heat. Like
Uh-huh.
you have the community input. It's like, well, this is what this was the
This is
consensus of
was
what the
decided by
community wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, because it's tough for you guys to make those judgment calls and then weigh all the opinions.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
And I should say too, it's not just like Saxon's residents only, because if you shop out there, if you drive through there routinely, we want your
Yeah, yeah,
input.
yeah.
It's definitely bigger than Saxon's River. It's actually a town of Rockingham municipal planning grant. We're not big enough to apply for this kind of grant. So it's thanks to Gary Fox and Chuck Wise and the Planning Commission that we're even
Right.
holding this event.
nice. So can you reiterate the dates real quick for
Yeah,
everybody?
so Thursday, September 29th,
tomorrow.
which is tomorrow, yep. And that's 6:30 PM at the Main Street, what's it called, Main Street Arts. I'm gonna have pizza there at 6, so if it's too much to do supper and come to the meeting, come and grab pizza and some cider. Saturday, October 1st, 9 to noon, that's gonna be a table. I'm hoping it's really gorgeous, so
Yeah,
everybody
that'd
will
be
wanna
good.
stop
Yeah.
in. And then Wednesday, November 2nd, discussion of the 3 uses, and again, 6:30 Main Street Arts, November 2nd.
Great.
Perfect.
Thank you,
Great. Thanks,
Amy.
Yeah,
And thanks
it's
for
so
coming
great.
on. I know it's a high-energy whirlwind visit here.
Yeah, well, thanks for giving us the opportunity
Oh,
to tell
yeah.
people
Be
what's
sure to
happening
come
in
out,
Saxon
because-
River.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion, voice it before the fact, not after the fact. Just gonna
That's
throw
always
that
helpful.
out there.
We always like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Thanks so
thank you.
much.
We're going to go to a clip of the Flannel Festival, because Charlie's going to come in and talk to us for the rest of the show about the Flannel Festival. Thank you,
Great.
Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
And
Thanks
I
so
hope
much.
to see you before then, or maybe right around November 2nd, when we can get the uses and talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
sure.
Yeah, well, that should be a whole
I'll give you an
show. I would-
update.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Terrific.
Right. Thanks.
Thank
Amy.
you. Okay, let's go to clip.
Pot
see
put
her.
kettle on, James on tin horn. Pot put kettle on, low FG. There you go.
Today we got for BS Smoking Sauces and Barbecue, we have pulled pork, beef brisket, and bacon wrapped pickles. We're out of Hinsdale, New Hampshire. Everything's all wood fired smoked for 12 to 16 hours on the smoker. And we're here today at the Flannel Fest.
And we're back.
We didn't get to see
Well
you eat
done.
the pickle.
Well, I don't want to eat that's not something that should be shown repeatedly. Once is enough.
I agree.
You shouldn't be bad-mouthing the pickles, I'm telling you. Good for you?
I'm set in my ways.
I know you are. I almost went off into a tangent, but I'm going to, because I want to focus on Charlie today. I'm not going to focus on pickles.
Well, that's
So,
Oh,
So
by the way, I
Southern-
have an idea for Amy. I mean, if she happens to watch this, is that I think the space, I don't know how many square feet it is, the old
yeah, the old
lumberyard.
lumberyard.
I don't know how many square feet it is, but it would be nice if, because the Saxons River would be nice if it had a cafe, but I don't think it could handle itself by itself.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think if you had maybe a couple of other little places in there also,
like a little mall. sort of
whatever,
idea.
yeah, but, well done.
Yeah, I
And,
understand.
so
Yeah.
that's my idea,
little
Amy.
boutique shops, like
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna try to be there Saturday just to throw my pieces in.
Well, I
so
hope you will.
I'll try.
Yeah, good. So, Charlie, everyone who knows Charlie Jars, Rockingham Hill Farms, member of the Chamber of Commerce, long time. Oh,
I'm not on the board. I just,
but you're a member.
I know. Well, yes, I am. Rockingham Hill Farm is a member of the
Yeah.
chamber. That's correct.
But don't be-
Yep.
And long time Fact TV television personality, did Travels with Charlie, and here he is today to tell us about the Vermont Flannel Festival.
How many years is this? What is this? Is this the fourth one?
Well, it's going to be the third. I thought it was going to be four too,
so
but we
too.
had
Had to
we
let
had
one
the
year
first
off.
one just before the pandemic, and then we had 2 years of being off, I think, and then last year was the second one, and this year will be the third.
Oh, wow.
But we've
some
made
reason I thought it
such
was
wonderful
longer.
ground in that period of time. We've made some mistakes, but we're learning by the mistakes. And in fact, the vendors this year, we hope to be around 75 vendors.
Really? Wow.
Which is
It's
going
really
to be
growing, yeah.
really great. And for the folks that may not know, is that this is a fundraiser for the Greater Falls Area Chamber of Commerce. And why I had suggested probably, or could use the farm for this purpose, is because the chamber has to have revenue to be able to get things done. They need like a full-time
Yep.
executive director, and it would be nice if they could get a part-time one. And this festival has not brought in as much as I would like, but it could in future years. In
Yeah,
fact, you and I were talking
Well, it has
about
potential.
this. It has
Yeah.
a lot of
It has a
potential.
lot more potential than almost any other project.
So this year's Southern Vermont Flannel Festival is going to be on the 15th and 16th, and it's the weekend after Columbus Day weekend. And the reason why we've decided to do it on the weekend after is because it was hard to get vendors, because everybody wanted to be
everybody
at
committed.
the established places for Columbus Day.
Yeah.
But I think as time goes on, we may change that date because we may become really well
yeah,
established.
yeah.
Because I think the amount of people that may be interested as vendors and all the things that we're going to be offering.
But I also think that from a consumer perspective, it's nice to spread things out. So if you have everything on one weekend, then as a consumer, you got to choose.
Yeah, you got one thing.
So you
yeah.
got one thing. So I think it's great to have it in the middle of the month. It's still foliage. You know, you get through Columbus Day weekend, one more thing to do. I think that's my
And
personal
this year, the
opinion.
peak foliage is going to be the third weekend of October.
I know it is.
I don't know if you knew that.
Charlie put in his order.
Yes.
So all things sort of, we're working
Yeah, it's
that
all
way.
working together. The stars are
it's-
aligning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you saw that little bit of video, you saw how nice it was that particular,
Yeah,
that was the
yeah.
first one, I believe.
Yeah,
That was the first one.
yeah.
So it's going to be beautiful, and of course, the rolling hills of Vermont in color is nothing like it. And it's so appropriate to have it at an old hill farm,
I agree.
especially from a family, Duvall family, that owned that farm for almost 7 generations. And to not have animals anymore, but to have people, but still looking,
yeah.
still looking like an old hill farm. So what other questions would you like to ask me?
Pie contest this year?
Yes, and I guess it's gonna be,
Probably even bigger, because I know last year, someone I know actually won one of the prizes.
Would
yeah.
that be your wife, Sue?
Yes.
So is she
The family's
entering
best
one
pie
I
yet?
don't
maker?
know. It was such a pressure last year. You know, it was like, it's hard to, we'll see.
Are you gonna be a judge?
I hadn't thought about that.
Well,
wouldn't
I
have
think
even-
they may need judges,
Yeah.
so that's something that,
That's
in fact,
an interesting-
while we're on that subject, there's a lot of things going on at this festival. So we need a lot of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been always a problem with this particular festival, is getting enough volunteers. And so I'm just sending the word out, because it's 3 weeks
Yeah. that's
before
all.
this festival. So if anybody would like to volunteer for this festival, and be it a fun time. I mean, not like you're going to be working all the time, but you're going to be able to wander around. It's not going to cost you a dime. Plus, you may get a free piece of pie and some cider or coffee or whatever.
Or coffee or whatever.
So
yeah.
if you're interested in being a volunteer, you can call the Chamber of Commerce or email Deb at the Chamber of Commerce. You can just look it up and
Yeah, we should have it. Info at GFRCC.org, I believe.
And one of the things we need is definitely for parking, because we anticipate anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 people this year going through the parking lot, and thankfully we have an exit now.
I know
Yeah.
that was a big help. The
Yeah,
second year,
it makes a
yeah.
big difference. But we need, and young people especially, people that, really want to, see what it's like volunteering, first of all, and also being able to participate in some fashion or another. And who knows, they may have some ideas for future ones.
Sure, yeah.
So we're trying to get students especially, either from a Compass School or Bellows Falls High School, even middle school kids. So that's one thing you may want to keep in mind. And of course, this year we're going to have music, Low Lily, cold chocolate, which I don't.
Cold chocolate.
Cold chocolate. Then this is going to be on Saturday. Low Lily and cold chocolate. As I understand it, they're pretty good. But I'm looking forward to it, to see them play. And then on Sunday, it's the Breakmaids, which I've seen. Which
Yeah, they were good too.
They're really great. And of course, the Stockwell Brothers, in which they're always good. Now, the admission is only $7, which, I always said, we can get a little bit more, but they want to keep it at $7. And I think, however, if you wear flannel, you get $1 off. So it's only $6.
Bargain at any cost.
And 12 and under are free. And so there's a whole bunch of sponsors, by the way, but we're always looking for more sponsors. And we're going to find different ways of thanking the sponsors as time goes on. Hopefully, Bill's going to be our MC. I don't know if he's been asked yet or not, but they say that
Breaking news.
That might be news to him. I don't know though. Sometimes we pass in the night shifts sometimes.
Well, you may
just don't
want
have
to.
a
You see
chance.
him regularly, right?
I do see him on a fairly regular level. Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
might wanna ask
one or
him.
two days
You
a
may
week.
wanna do
You may
it.
want to mention that because I hear that he has a way of getting the word
Does
out.
have a big voice.
That's it. Okay, a big voice. So if that would be great. In fact, Kathleen from Holidays mentioned him. So
No pressure there, hon.
Yeah, there you go.
I would think, and then, if you
If you're
can't do it
watching.
both days, maybe one of the days. And it's just a fill in type of thing. Okay, and as I say, once again, the Greater Falls Regional Chamber of Commerce needs not just to make more money, it also needs to have more board members. So anybody that, especially if they're new to the community and wants to get involved, it would be great for them to think about becoming a board member, especially if you have a little business, whether or not it's jewelry or whatever you may do. And go down and see Deb at the Chamber of Commerce and tell them I sent you. So,
Do you get credit for that?
He
Do you
does.
get like extra chamber points
yeah,
if you
when I get to
if you
heaven,
refer?
maybe. That's
It's like
about
good
it. If
karma.
I go to
It's
heaven.
at least good karma points.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, and it's not just, and it's just not the Chamber of Commerce that needs volunteers. All organizations need volunteers. And I just want to throw this out because it's something that I'm going to sort of try to promote, and I promoted it with you
promoted
two
to me
already.
already.
And that I think there should be a part-time coordinator for volunteers in the Greater Falls area, or at least in the town of Rockingham. And I think the chamber, I've been bringing it up to the chamber, and they understand how important it is to have volunteers. Because the chamber office isn't open, only because we don't got volunteers.
Yeah.
And we don't have a full-time executive director.
Yeah.
And that should be open, especially in the summer, and sometimes it's not even open on weekends, which I would like to see that change. So I would like to see the town, and I'm going to bring this up at town meeting, but if people hear this and they want to talk to other people and think it's a good idea, is to have a part-time coordinator for volunteers. And I think we can get the chamber to probably put some money into this also and work out of the chamber office. The Waypoint Center is a wonderful place.
It's a gorgeous building.
Yeah,
And it's not utilized half as much as it should be. So this is one of the reasons why I would think it would be. And one of the things, and I'll get off of that, is that every young man or young woman at the Bellows Falls Union High School has to put in 60 hours of community service.
right.
So if we had a coordinator, we could have
a
name all the
no-brainer, yeah.
students,
Yeah.
and we could say, and we would have
And
more.
we can make it easy for them to do their community service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just show up here and you get 2
Yeah,
hours
look
of
at-
community
this is it.
service. And then usually
Piece
the
of
community
cake.
service, these volunteer jobs are not hard. Parking cars, saying, okay, park here, not horrible. I mean, it can be a little dicey if you get someone that doesn't drive well. But and oftentimes it's only a couple of hours at a stint. It's not like a whole day.
That's all they're
Yeah.
asking, right?
Yeah.
And even for board members of the chamber, I mean, they meet, maybe every 2 weeks, okay, from 8:15 in the morning, and you're out of there by, maybe 10 at the latest, and that's it. But what I'd like to see happen where the Chamber of Commerce is concerned, especially if they want to continue to do this Vermont Flannel Festival, and I don't know why they wouldn't, because it's a real moneymaker for them. that they put 2 of the members, the new members, on the Southern Vermont Flannel Festival. And that's their job throughout the year, is to report back to the chamber. Okay, these are other ideas that we
To
have.
cultivate the vendors and the food people and the music. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's not rocket science, right?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Okay.
Because it's hard sometimes because you don't have enough people. So everybody has to focus on this until this is done. And then everybody has to focus on this until this is
Yeah,
done. And that's
yeah.
just, unfortunately, that's the model that we've had because we're not big enough. But that's, that certainly is a great, if you have one major fundraiser, you should ideally be cultivating it all year round if you can. But catch-22, who's going to do it?
Exactly. That's where the volunteers come in and board members. I mean, I'm not saying we should have 15, but I think we should have at least 10 to 12 board members on the Chamber of Commerce, without a doubt, and from the surrounding towns. Although
It is a regional chamber. of commerce. It
Walpole
actually
does
has-
pretty good. They give
Yeah.
us, but get them from Grafton. Okay, maybe one from Grafton, even one from Athens. So that type of thing. And I don't know if Charlestown is part of this.
It is.
And
There
if-
used to be the pizza place in Charleston was a member. Yeah.
And wouldn't that be wonderful?
Mike's an ex-member, so you were
I mean,
back
I
in the
was
day
on
when the board was bigger
Yeah,
at
I was
that
on
time.
the board for a while. And, yeah.
Well, you were a wonderful volunteer, and you still are. I mean, this guy is like a saint. All right,
Just ask Sue.
Just that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay.
all right. I don't know
We have another.
how much time we have left. We have
Just under 4 minutes, so you got time.
Okay.
So you need.
Yep.
you need
So,
the-
so on this one here, okay. Now, can you read this while
I can,
while
but
I
I'm relatively close.
while I put it up? Yeah. No, I'm putting it up, and you can
Okay.
read it.
Yes. Oh, it says Vermont Comedy Divas, November 10th, 2022. www.bellsfallsoperahouse.com. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Showtime at 7 p.m. And then if you had your little phone, you could put it up there and see all this thing. It's in an evening of hilarity with the only all-female touring stand-up comedy troupe in the United States. Now, the Vermont Comedy Divas bring their acclaimed brand of stand-up comedy to the Bells Falls Opera House in a fundraising event for the Greater Falls Regional Chamber of Commerce, founded in 2006 by Josie Levette. This all-female touring group is a staple of the Vermont comedy scene.
Now, I'll let you in on a little secret as far as volunteers go, because you're going to need volunteers to usher
Absolutely.
for that event.
Yeah.
If you usher an event like this, you get to see it for free.
And
That's what I've done that in the past for events at the Opera House.
The cost here, you didn't read the cost, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, the tickets
I
are
didn't realize.
the tickets. You make a good point. And the tickets are $30. Okay, for adults, obviously. Tickets are $30, $20, and $13. I guess is where you're going to be sitting. Plus, there's a $2 ticket service charge. So
Okay.
if you're an usher,
Yeah, I'm not saying
you
it.
get to
I'm saying
see.
it's a good deal.
And I didn't go to the one they had.
I thought you would, didn't you?
I went to the one. Did they come to Popolo a while ago? Like quite a few years ago.
I don't know.
I think because
Yeah.
Popolo had. Well, it wasn't Popolo per se, but it was in the
back
the
room.
ballroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just guess I was.
And
saying
what was your
Popolo.
impression?
They were very good.
They were
I
funny.
thought they were hysterical.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, and if it's the same troupe, they were funny. I mean, and sometimes when you have a comedy troupe, you have
It's
one or
so-
two that are funny and one or two that are like, eh. But
These
they were
guys
all
were really
funny,
good.
I thought. But
And
then
did-
again, I
did
have
they pick on
12-year-old
men?
humor. Not so much, I think. I mean, I think they did to an extent, but I think they also they each had their own shtick, obviously.
yeah.
But no, I think a lot of it is like not so much picking on women, but using the humor of
talking
women,
about, yeah.
women humor things. I don't know how to put that.
Back to the Vermont Flannel Festival. I don't.
You forgot something?
Yeah, I got a
Okay.
minute or two, right?
You
I got
do.
a
You
minute?
have a minute and
Okay.
22
Go.
seconds.
So I don't know if you guys went to. You probably didn't because you were away. The Chester Festival, the Chester.
Oh, I
Fall
was
Festival?
there, yeah.
Yeah. Did you took some pictures of that?
I did take
But
pictures
anyway,
of
they had, and one of the things that I noticed, and probably for your pictures, I don't know, somebody's pictures, that they had those hay bales, the square hay bales for a maze for kids.
Yeah,
neat.
they
And,
did.
and everybody I mentioned, talked to about this, okay, they, oh yeah, that was great. And that's the thing they remember the most, because the kids would have something to do. And then they had to have just regular hay, the hay spread around, and it's a needle in a haystack, but they didn't have a needle in there, but they had something that the kids could find. And there's
that's-
kids
yeah,
throwing
yeah,
their
yeah.
hay up. So that's something to look forward to, because we're not going
You're
to be
going
able
to do that too?
No, we're not going to do it this year.
But you're
I got that
planning on
idea.
it.
That's
getting
why I'm
ideas.
saying that anybody with ideas that they
Let
think,
you know.
and if you're you want to be a vendor, for next year or even this year, you still have time, because I did open up another field. I didn't build it, but anyway, I should take credit.
You
But
should.
I won't. No, well, it was my money. But the bridge that goes over to my other field, that's
Oh.
just across the way.
Like where the wedding area was?
Yeah, well, just on the other side, because
Okay.
just on the other side. So there's another half an acre
Uh-huh.
right there for more vendors. So or whatever they want to use it for.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
great.
all the time I have. Is that what that
That's
is?
it.
That
We
is,
are-
but
that's all the time we have,
we'll,
yeah.
We'll be mentioning the Flannel Festival
We will,
again, I'm
yep.
sure, next week. And so if you have other things that come up, let us know. And, like more specific vendors that are coming. Because I know last year the food vendors, there was a variety, really good variety of food vendors. And I went both days, and I had different food each day, and it was excellent.
And Andy Bernardo and Sarah Di
Yeah,
Domaro
yeah, they
will be
set
there
up.
smoking bowls. So that's a local, obviously, and most of them will be local people. But yeah, it's good food, good music, good times.
Yeah,
We'll
great.
see you there.
See you there.
Bye, community.
And that's it. Bye, community. See you next week.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music.